My friends, welcome back to Pod Plays. So we're going to try a little bit of an experiment because I realized that the Xbox game bar, for some reason, no longer wants to record certain programs. So it won't let me record my browser, it won't let me record games that can't be in full screen. So that's a little bizarre. But all that being said, I hope it works out. I'm using Zoom now, so we'll see how that goes. But that being said, I wanted to go back to a game that I have actually played before, but not in this channel. I initially played it on my player display channel way back when as an experiment. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I wanted to do it again here on my gaming channel because that makes a little bit more sense. So here we are. This is a classic called Would You Rather. So little departure from the usual zombie fare, but I think we will still have fun as long as everything records okay. If it does not, I'm really going to kick myself in the pants when I am finished recording. But with that being said, let's just see how this goes. I mean, it's a simple little game. You just gotta click some panels. You guys know how this works. Shouldn't be too demanding of my PC or anything. I can clean it up a little bit in post, so not a big deal. But anyways, here we are. This version of Would You Rather I have not played before. It was on the very shady, very weird Microsoft store, but this one looks pretty good. So hopefully there's no ads or weird stuff going on. Pretty straightforward. And the last thing I'll mention, I do kind of have a cheat because I was a philosophy major. So that will allow me to hyper interrogate certain words and make particular choices that maybe the question wasn't expecting I would approach it with. So let's see how that turns out. But anyways, first one out is pretty simple and really easy for me. Would you rather be a famous inventor or be a famous writer? I love writing anyways. I do that pretty much every single week. I love writing poetry, I write philosophy, I write stories, I do character development, I do world building, so that's a no-brainer for me. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about being a famous inventor as well, so I don't blame that 73%. You can't go wrong either way. I think whether you go for the pen or the toolbox, I think you could do a ton with either, so makes perfect sense. Then, would you rather have world peace or win $150 million? I actually learned that 90% of lottery winners wind up destroying their lives, and the question is, would I be exempt from that rule? That I'm not sure. So that being said, at face value, the 150 million doesn't sound too bad. World peace is also nice, but as a philosopher, I believe some conflict is needed in order for there to be positive change. If there is no conflict, if there is no danger at all, things are totally relaxed and fine and complete, then us as a species will have nothing else to do. I do not endorse war, I do not endorse terrorism, but those little micro incidents, like, they're inevitable in the world that we're in, unfortunately. But we can turn that into a positive by doing good for each other. So, based on the metric, I believe that a little bit of isolated chaos is necessary to keep the world going, to give humanity a purpose. I'm not going to select have world peace. That being said, if I select the money, I can use some of that money that I don't need, because who needs 150 mil? No one does. I can use some of that money to create a little bit of peace and help myself out too. And I got student loans and rent. So yeah, I'm going for the money. And I'm sure, yep, 72%, we're greedy, but that's our species. That's how we function. So totally understandable. Moving on. Would you rather fight Rocky Balboa or fight Ivan Drago? Well, there goes a friggin' shower upstairs. Sorry about that, or nothing I can do about it if you can hear it. But I'm a lover of the Rocky movies, at least 1 to 4, and all 3 Creed movies are pretty good too. Knowing how much I love Rocky 4, I also know that Ivan Drago is a lethal weapon, and he does not care if he murders you in the arena. I mean, no matter who you fight, you're gonna get a little messed up. It's a guarantee. At least Rocky Balboa would be like, hey, good fight and all. That was really good, you know. That was really good. We should go punch some meat in the cold locker later or something. Like, at least he's a nice guy and he fights with honor. Ivan Drago, he fights for himself and he will knock you dead. He doesn't care. If you die, you die. And that's the end of the story. So, yeah, I'm choosing Rocky Balboa because I prefer to live. I know I'm getting hurt no matter what, but survival sounds a little better than death. And what? Why is that a split? Why is that an even split in any world? I have to assume some people didn't watch the movies, because why would you ever want to fight Ivan Drago? Get real. Unless you got a death wish. All right. Be a fairy or a tall dwarf. Wait, isn't a tall dwarf just an oxymoron? That just means you're a normal height person. So, would I rather be exactly the same, or would I rather be a fairy? Now, there's a lot of different types of fairies. Like, the first one that comes to mind is the Tooth Fairy from Cabin in the Woods. It was this crazy little monster Easter egg of a creature that had like all these teeth in the mouth and looked really nasty and stuff. So there's cool versions aside from like the Tinkerbell traditional fairy, you know? There's different types of fairies that we can imagine. So that being said, it doesn't specify what type of fairy you can be. And no matter what type of fairy that there is, that usually implies that you have some sort of powers that you can use in any way you want to benefit anyone you want, including yourself. So yeah, what basically for me this boils down to, would I rather be just a normal heighted person, which I already am, or have some powers and maybe be small and have some wings, which probably wouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna go with the fairy option. That sounds fine. And yeah, tall dwarf, what's the benefit of that? And what's the drawback? You're gonna be the same height. So that's strange. Would you rather your partner be younger or your partner be older? I mean, I'm assuming this is asking like a year or two difference, not like would you rather your partner be younger, like a teenager or something like that. I don't think that's what it's implying, or older. Honestly, for me, being a single person, who I've always been a single person, I hope that one day changes. But when it comes down to the way the world these days and how hard it is to find new people and everything, I don't think, I mean, obviously within the confines of, yes, it's a year or two difference, maybe 10 at the very most, but these days it's slim pickings. If you find love and that person happens to be a little younger than you, a little older than you, go for it. So I think either way, again, as long as it's all legal and consensual, you gotta do it, especially these days. Do I have a preference? Not really. I guess a hair younger, though older wouldn't be the worst either. I mean, people use the phrase older and wiser. That's not always true, but it might mean they have a better head on their shoulders. And being that I'm a male and I prefer females, and females tend to live a little bit longer, if she's older, then that means we're probably going to die around the same time. I don't know if that helps a bit, but yeah, let's go with for older for the sake of wisdom and mortality. But it could really go either way. I got a 5 streak. Okay, I didn't know that was part of this game. So moving on. Cool. Let's see what's next. Make love while listening to Bob Marley, or make love while listening to Daft Punk. I don't prefer the concept of love during coitus. I mean, music during coitus, but I guess I prefer Daft Punk. I'd want to hear more Daft Punk than Bob Marley. Bob Marley's great, obviously, but yeah, I guess if I'm to disrespect a musical genre, then I'll go with Daft Punk. And I don't know where that would go. Yeah, I could see you going either way. I mean, Bob Marley's all about one love and stuff, so. But Daft Punk's about getting lucky. I don't know. I'm not going to overanalyze this one. I prefer Daft Punk. So, moving on. Would you rather only be able to walk on all fours? That's embarrassing. Or only be able to walk backward? As a human being, I don't do much walking anyways. Well, that would be highly dangerous. I do enjoy walking when I am walking, like going to different stores, going on a bridge near some water and stuff like that. So I do love walking first and foremost. So you're going to be in public no matter which one you choose. But if you're walking backward all the time, that's going to be extraordinarily uncomfortable and dangerous. There's cars, there's pedestrians, there's, I don't know, carts in the street or strollers. And you don't want to keep looking over your shoulder, turning your head 45 degrees or whatever to see what's going on. That's just going to cause some serious neck problems, and you're probably just going to bump into something anyways. At least if you're on all fours, you can wear like padding on your knees if you need to be comfortable. And you look stupid as hell, but you look stupid walking backwards anyways. But at least walking on all fours, you're slower, you're safer, and you can see ahead of you. So I guess I'll go with all fours. I don't like any of these, but these are the choices I'm given. Yeah, it's a tough call, but it's safer doing the all fours. So that's my choice. I don't have a timer, I just realized, so I don't know how long I'll be allowed to record. I should have just used the clock. Let's assume we're about 10 minutes in. But anyways, you have knowledge from the future. I do not. Would you rather people make fun of your clothes or people make fun of your hairstyle? You know what? I gotta own my fashion. It's barely a fashion, but I own my clothing. If people make fun of me, not a big deal. It's not saying all people, right? Just some people. And I'm sure they already do. People make fun of your hair. That's something you can't really change on the fly. I mean, you can change either of these on the fly. Yeah. I don't mind being an eccentric dresser. That's fine by me. You know what? I prefer that people look at me and say, hey, that guy's a little off based on the way I dressed. I don't know. That sounds preferable to me. But yeah, pretty even split. It could really go either way. Moving on. Would you rather curse at people by shouting at the top of your voice when they say hi to you, or produce a 160 decibel? Is that what that means? Same as a plane taking off of sound when you go to the toilet. That actually sounds kind of awesome. Same as a plane taking off. That'd be deafening. I just find that hilarious. I mean, one's disrespectful and one's just funny. It doesn't say that anyone's going to get hurt, right? Necessarily. So that's all fine, well, and good. So that's not a huge deal. But cursing at people, you're going to lose friends and stuff. I mean, you're not going to be able to make a relationship. And going to the toilet, I mean, the few people who you do care about, just tell them, hey, put in your earplugs, I'm going to take a piss or a shit. And then you just blast off. So yeah, I'm going to go with the toilet one. And also pretty even, leaning a little bit more towards the cursing. So I guess people prefer to be a little more independent. These days I'm a bit half and half, but that being said, would you rather find a human head in your kitchen or find a human hand in your kitchen? Now, see, here's where my philosophy degree comes in handy, or my English minor, whatever you want to call them. It's not necessarily saying that a head or a hand are severed. Like, if you walk into a kitchen, you look at your hand, and you go, holy shit, it's my hand! It doesn't mean that your hand is severed. It's still attached to you. Or you can find, like, another human's head in your kitchen, but they're all in one piece. They're fine. They're a nice, friendly coworker. You could say, hi, Doris. How you doing? It's just not a big deal. Then again, it's your kitchen. Why would your coworker be in your kitchen? I'm not going to deep probe that. But, all right, so fine. I guess let's assume they are severed. Either way, you're on a crime scene. There's a big mess. I feel like a head would be more haunting. At least with a hand, it's a little bit less scary, and you could still trace the victim, probably. So, for the sake of solving the crime, I'd prefer to see a human hand. And also, it's less traumatizing, potentially. Yeah, and I got a streak of 10. What does that mean? What am I winning from this? Whatever. 78% over 22, so pretty good. Would you rather run into your boss while wasted, not a problem, I don't drink, or run into your boss while high? I don't smoke either. I feel like you could get past... Well, here's the thing. Which has a worse stigma, right? With weed, like, there's new legalities and stuff. Like, there's medical marijuana and things of that nature, which can be abused, I assume. I don't know a whole ton about it. But, like, I think... I've had coworkers who smoke, and they get by all right. I can't say they've been high or anything, but like I can smell it off of them, whatever. I feel like being drunk is a worse look, because drinking in general is frowned upon, at least with smoking a joint, it's a little bit has a little bit less of a stigma on it. Neither of these are good situations, but I feel like you could get by while being high. You could better hide being high than hide being drunk, I feel like. I've never been in either of these states, so I can't really speak to that, but yeah, I'm gonna go with high. And a little dip, but yeah, I mean, I stick with my logic. I think it works. So, would you rather be teleported to a random place in the world every time you fart? Oh man, I'm going all places, I'll tell ya. Or go travel 10 years back in time every time you sneeze. Oh, well, be teleported to a random place. Now, it's not specifying what place. So, it's not necessarily saying 3 feet in front of you. It's not necessarily saying on the planet Mars at a certain latitude or longitude where you will die. But if you travel 10 years back in time, it's not necessarily saying you age 10 years back. And I don't think there's any way you could twist this option so you're immortal. Like, if you go back 10 years, it's not saying that you age down and you retain your memory, like a Groundhog Day situation. In that case, that might be more enticing. All right, I'm going to assume, based on our assumption that the universe is virtually infinite, or at the very least very big. All right, the one thing we know for sure about space is that it's like 99% cold and death. That's what space is. So, teleport to a random place anywhere in the universe, you are dead. So let's assume when you fart, it's the end of your life. Traveling back 10 years ago, there's different circumstances, of course. Every time you sneeze, that would be very unfortunate. And like, let's assume you sneeze like 10 times, you go back 100 years, right? And then I'd be in 1925. That actually might not be too bad. Again, it's not saying they age down, but you'll be growing up as you're going back into these various decades. So you get to see what these decades have looked like, at least. Like, I've always wanted to travel back to the 80s and see what it was like then, because that's my personal favorite decade, I think. Like, experience music for a while, but then again, if I sneeze, then I'm going back to the 70s, and the 70s are also kind of cool, aside from the war and all that. So I feel like this could actually be chaotic, but exciting. But if I teleport anywhere when I fart, I'm most likely going to die. So I'm going to go with the sneeze. And small percentage. Yeah, it's a tough one, but I don't think these folks have considered what random place indicates. You have no choice. There's no limit. It's not Earth-based. You can teleport anywhere. And that sounds awful. So yeah, I'd rather just experience a grand old timeline and learn a few things. So yeah. Would you rather Apple or Samsung? I don't like Apple. I don't like Apple. That's simple. I think it's overpriced. I think it's overrated. I have never loved an Apple product except my very first iPad. That's only because I didn't know any better. And I got some Google products and it changed my life forever. So yeah, screw Apple. I don't even think I've had a Samsung device before, but it's got to be better than Apple. So sorry, Steve Jobs, but would you rather lack of class or lack of intelligence? So what does it mean by class? Lack of classes in school, or lack of classes in what the kids would call Riz these days? I can't believe I even said that word. But lack of presence, charisma, potentially, or lack of intelligence. I already have a lack of class, and I'd ontologically say I have pretty high intelligence. High enough. It gets me by. So yeah, screw class. I mean, I value my intelligence more than anything. I don't care what my IQ is or anything. Wherever I am right now, I want to keep that. So I'm not sacrificing my intelligence for anything anytime soon. So 72% sounds good. Would you rather be able to turn invisible or be able to stop time? Okay, let me think about what my life experiences are. So I can't imagine when I would want to be invisible. I'm not a particularly sneaky person. And you couldn't really steal things because if you're a kleptomaniac, this wouldn't really work. Because if you grab something, it's just going to be floating article of clothing or floating purse or floating Xbox 5 or whatever. I'm not counting anymore. So yeah, I don't see the benefit for my lifestyle. If you like stealing things or whatever, it might be useful. But yeah, for me, I've never been in a situation where I'm like, oh, I wish I couldn't be seen right now. I mean, it would be fun, like just to screw around with people, or maybe if there's like a telemarketer around or Jehovah's Witness at your door, then you could just disappear. So you know what? Yeah, if I just don't want to be seen by anybody, that might be very fun, very useful. Like if I just don't want to be acknowledged, it would boost my confidence. I don't have to be self-conscious about being anywhere. Although you'll need to be naked, right? Because the clothes don't count. As for stopping time, so I'm not highlighting each option as I'm talking about it. Stopping time, I feel like this might be the more practical one. Like, let's say there's something really dangerous going on, like maybe there's a car crash happening, or I don't know, someone's falling down the stairs, or you're falling down the stairs. Then you could stop time, and you could be like, holy crap, here I am in midair. Let me swim in the air to get to somewhere safer. I don't know how it would work. If you stop time, do you freeze too? I mean, that's a question as well. But then again, it comes down to my preference. I think they both have their benefits. But there haven't been many moments when I've needed to stop time. And I can't think of any. Yeah. I don't know. I think the stopping time, there's too much ambiguity there. I think invisibility with my shyness and all that, I'd probably prefer that. But yeah, I guess either way is good. They both have their perks. So, would you rather be handcuffed to your worst enemy for life, or be separated from your entire family? Do I have an enemy? I have people I heavily dislike, but I can't say I've been in an outright gang war with anyone. So, I don't know who my worst enemy would be. All right, so let's assume I'm handcuffed to the person I dislike the most. And I'm not going to name names, but I could think of someone right now. And he'd be a pain in the ass considerably. Would we figure it out or what? They'd ruin my whole life. But hold on, I found a loophole. It says being separated from your entire family doesn't mean you're not going to find them again, or you can't search for them. Maybe I'm separated from them right now. I'm in my own apartment. I don't have a family member in sight. I'm separated from my family right now. I have family all the way down the coast. I got my parents elsewhere in a different town. I'm separated from my family right now. Doesn't mean I can't go back to see them. So yeah, I'm choosing this. Ha! You fools, you didn't find the loophole. Ha ha ha. All right, walk around with a hickey or walk around with scratch marks on your neck. I feel like walking around with scratch marks is rather normal. I mean, what would the situation be? And also, how big are the scratches? Like, paper cuts, like, they're so small you don't even see them. Like, scratch marks, they can be pretty small, not noticeable. A hickey is going to be pretty visible, and it's going to tell a big story. So I'm going to go with scratch marks. No question. And it can be painless, too. Really? Who wants that? People are odd. I don't get it. Would you rather never have internet access again as a millennial or Gen Z? I'm not sure which I am. Not Gen Z, Gen X. I'm Gen X or millennial. I forget which. Maybe I am Gen Z. I don't know. Every source tells me something different. But never have internet or never be able to take an airplane again. Sorry. Fine. Safety hazard. I don't care what Superman says. I don't like planes. I don't like going through customs. I don't like sitting on a plane with crying babies, fat people who sleep in a different position in 5 minutes, dealing with the luggage in the overhead, the really loud, overconfident pilot on the intercom. I don't need that experience, and I'm not a big traveler. And it looks like most people agree with me. I didn't even look at the percentages yet. 86/14, yeah. And I wouldn't be able to make little YouTube videos like this, which, again, I hope the recording's working, but we'll see. Would you rather only have access to YouTube on the internet or only have access to games on the internet? I'm single player, baby. I don't need multiplayer or anything, but then again, you need internet to get your single player games. But Well, that's the thing. I don't play video games very often. I play video games for YouTube. I'm doing that right now. And if games were nixed, I'd still have stuff to do on YouTube. I've got 2 other YouTube channels. You know that by now. Go in the description if you have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'd prefer to have YouTube over video games. So, yeah, YouTube. And I watch YouTube basically every day. So usually the same redundant crap, but even so. Would you rather always have to ride a unicycle to get to work or school? So basically, I'm not getting to work or school at all. Or always have to use a pogo stick to get to work or school. All right, so either way, you're hilarious. You're not getting very far. You're not getting there fast or on time. But I do feel like a unicycle is a more competent vehicle than a pogo stick. A pogo stick is not a vehicle because you're not getting anywhere. You're not moving forward. You're bouncing around in the same like circle with a radius of 4 inches for like 5 seconds, and then you're dead on the ground. I'm gonna go with unicycle. It would be a bitch to learn if I could learn it. No one learns pogo stick. Show me a video where someone learns pogo stick. Link it in the comments. Please do. I've never seen a pogo stick expert before. So, unicycle, yeah. 20, whatever, okay. 61%, sure, fine. Would you rather have sweat that smells like poop or bad breath that makes people sick? Well, I was just going to say these are both shitty options. One of them is quite literal, though. Have sweat that smells like poop. Well, I don't sweat often because I'm not a very active person, so that wouldn't be a huge deal. Oh, but God, summer. Summers would be dreadful. Oh, no. Well, then you could shower after that, so that wouldn't be too bad. But bad breath can be resolved. I mean, just brush your teeth every day. I mean, isn't this just normal? Like, as long as you're brushing your teeth every day, mouthwash, floss. I don't do floss, but you know, who does? Only dentists do, I swear. This is just normal circumstance, really. Like, I assume everyone has bad breath by default anyways. You get close to anyone's mouth, of course it's going to smell bad. But this is contingent on the fact that you're going to make them sick, ill. So they got to smell the breath. They got to be within radius to become sick. Damn. Well, the poop thing is seasonal. The bad breath thing, it can be treated every day, but again, I don't think this is suggesting, oh, you brush your teeth and you're fine. And you're gonna make people ill no matter what. Yeah, I don't sweat too often, so I guess I'll go with the poop. None of these are good, but just process of elimination, I guess. So, all right. Would you rather being capable? Oh no, one of these. Being capable of pronouncing the letter A or not being able to use the letter F without spitting. So, wear a mask or something, but I want access to the full alphabet for sure. So, yeah, I'll wear a mask or something. Big deal. Masks are cool. If you've seen my Night Watcher 66 channel, you know how much I love masks. So, yeah, that's an easy one. Would you rather have sex with anyone from your work? I'm glad no one from work knows I have this channel. Or have sex with your boss for a promotion. Both of these are terrible. I feel like the boss one is more incriminating. But they're like people who meet the love of their life at work. So, yeah, alright, sure. I don't have anyone specific in mind, but in like a hypothetical situation, that is a bit less bad than the other one. The other one is just no honor at all. This one, under certain circumstances, it might actually be a beautiful thing. I don't know. I'm not totally reckless in that regard, but anyways, would you rather... Alright, so it's not grammatically correct all the time. That's okay. But would you rather every shirt you wear be itchy, or would you rather only be able to use one ply of toilet paper? So only use one at a time. So you can't like rip one, then one, then one, then stack them together, then use them. It's got to be just one, which is nasty. But it's not giving you a time limit. It's not saying for one instance you have to do it, or for life you have to do it. So because it doesn't have a contingency on it, I could choose what I want. For me, it's like just one really bad day on the shitter. And then like, oh no, this sucks. Then I get out, I leave, and I just go right back in, and I use like what, 6-ply? And I don't count it really. I just use it till I think I'm fine. TMI, I know. But every shirt you wear is itchy. As an Aspie, I'm so freaking sensitive to certain cloths and textures. Every shirt being itchy, it would just be a living nightmare. So, but yeah, one bad time on the toilet, I can deal with that. That's fine. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Thank you, 68%. Okay. Would you rather always have really slow internet? That's a nightmare. Or always have a terrible phone signal? I don't talk on the phone very often. I don't text very often. So it's a bad signal, but my messages would get out there eventually. I don't talk to a whole lot of people through there. But I can communicate with people on my computer. In fact, I do that more often. So I'd rather have a terrible phone signal. Yeah, it's a different world. In a different decade, it might be a totally different answer. But yeah, the phone these days, it's not as significant because now we got computers, tablets, a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's not a big deal. Would you rather look stupid without actually being stupid, or actually be stupid without looking like it? Hold on. Now I feel stupid just from reading that. Look stupid without actually being stupid. So like wearing a weird clown costume or rubber nose, I don't know. Or actually be stupid without looking like it. Again, going back to the having class thing, I think I look stupid anyways. But again, I prioritize my intelligence. So I'm going look stupid without actually being stupid. Yeah, fine. And looking stupid to whom? It's subjective, right? So I don't know. Would you rather spend 1 year in jail? Awful. Sounds terrible. Or be the only person on Earth for a year? Oh. That actually might be very useful. It would be lonely, but you could be insanely... Well, then you have to think about... There's a lot of questions here. So, if you're the only person on Earth for a year, how does that start? Is everyone wiped out and killed by a nuke or a bomb or a meteor or something? Or dies instantly from a virus? Or do they just despawn like in a video game? And then after a year, they just reappear. Like the Blip from Marvel, right? I don't like MCU, but you know, that's a perfect example. Or spend 1 year in jail. I think I'd be most productive. Well, that's not true. I was going to say I'd be most productive if I was the only person on Earth for a year. And then my argument was, oh, you can go around town, you can go around several towns, gathering whatever it is you need to live, get all the money you want, you know, go to the house of really rich people you don't like, take all their shit, you know, like build up the life you want. And then when everybody, I guess, spawns back in, is the best way to put it, then you'd be able off, but you look ultra suspicious and all that. So, but my counter argument to that is, I don't know how to grow crops. I wouldn't want to hunt. So life would be a great challenge. And again, so would jail. But at least in jail, you're... Actually, now I think about it, I might do pretty okay in jail. I mean, it's not a great life. It's a bad life, of course. But I am a creature of habit. I'm well behaved. I'm not going to cause any trouble. I like routine. So I could be a nice model citizen while I'm there. There are people who have gone to jail and turned their lives around. Why can't I be one of those people? Surely I can be allowed to write. I can talk to people. I mean, there's probably going to be some dangerous people in there too. But there's cops who are hopefully paying attention and guards, so yeah, I think the jail thing is a little bit more straightforward, so I'm going to pick the jail. Yeah, it could really go either way, depending on which way you twist it. Would you rather, I'll probably go for about an hour on this, by the way. Would you rather be the lead actor or actress of an action movie, or be the villain of a horror movie? Of course. Absolutely. I'm going to John Kramer this shit. Sounds great. Yeah, and yeah, again, it's really comes down to preference. That's why it's so split. I'm not a huge action movie person. The only action movie I can really think of that I actually enjoyed is John Wick, I'd say. Just because it's so wildly creative and violent to the point that it's actually funny. But I love horror movies so much more. Action movies usually bore me to death because it's just the same thing over and over again, unless it's John Wick. So, yeah, villain in a horror movie, that's an easy one. Easy, easy. Would you rather make 400k and give 200k to the poor, or make 300k and keep it for yourself? Ooh. Huh. So basically, I'm getting an extra $100,000, excuse me, which is nice. You know what? Humans are brutal. It's a brutal world. I'm gonna keep it for myself. If anyone else was faced with this question, I could really go either way. Like, I could be charitable too, but I feel like if I have more money in my corner, I could do more with that money. I'd probably still give a portion of that to charity anyways. Well, I say that now, but what happens when you actually have it, right? So, I don't know, Ring of Gyges, if you know that story. So, anyways, moving on. Be a... Oh, no! Well, I already hate this one. I don't know what the other one is yet. Be a cam girl or a boy. If you don't know what that is, don't ask. Or, oh, this is also terrible. Whew. Oh, I hate both of these. Oh, God. This is terrible. Well, at least one of these is just a one-time thing. And odds are the reviews would be terrible. And people would say, hey, don't watch this. It's not good. You're not going to have any enjoyment from it. And then people just aren't going to watch it based on the reviews. So, but this, you got to do it every day. You got to grind. I mean, not that I know anything about this world, but from the little I know about it, it's... You gotta stick with it for a long time. So, yeah, this is just a one-time incident, though. I mean, granted, it stays in there forever, but if it's me, no one's gonna freaking watch it get real. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Not happy about it, but again, narrowing it down, it's a one-time instance. So, okay. Would you rather make plants grow very quickly, or be able to make it rain whenever you wanted? Oh. Make plants grow very quickly. So you could be like a poison ivy type, or you can be... I'm trying to think of a superhero that controls the weather. Like one of the X-Men, I think. I don't know X-Men too well, though. Storm, right? Yeah, Storm would control the weather. So, yeah. These are two superpowers. Would I rather make plants grow or make it rain whenever I wanted? Sometimes... I'm just thinking about where I live and all that. I feel like we don't get enough rain at times. So that's useful. And there are enough plants. Make plants grow very quickly. How quickly are we talking? Like in a few minutes? Or like if we're talking a tree, we could cut down its growth time by like 10 years or something like that, and then it shoots up straight away. So it's like in Minecraft where you have a sapling, they put bone meal on it, and it just instantly shoots up into the air. That could be pretty cool. But then you gotta maintain it and all that. I don't know, is it important for a plant to grow through its like infantile state, whatever it would be called, so it can develop and build its strong roots and all of that? Yeah, I'd feel like I'd be screwing up the plant if I make it grow to adulthood too soon. So I feel like that'd be more of a danger. But make it rain whenever I want, that's not too bad either. And I don't have to make it rain every day. Just like if I feel like, oh, my throat's kind of dry, the sun's beating down. Yeah, and summers would be so much better with some rain. So yeah, I'm going for rain. I'm only happy when it rains. All right, yeah, and everyone else goes with it. Be infertile, okay, or have a child that passes away before you. So I have a child, or my wife or girlfriend has a child that passes away before you. That's difficult. Wow. Or being fertile. Both of these are very tragic in their own way. Oh, man. Oh, no. I have to think about this one. Both of these are very circumstantial. If you're infertile, it's really not the worst thing, because you could still adopt. You can still have a kid. And nothing is wrong with adoption. I actually encourage adoption, so that's not the worst thing ever. And if that's the one thing that's keeping me from living a full and complete life, then that's okay. That's not the worst thing. But having a child that passes away before you, I feel like that's a selfish option, right? That's assuming that you live longer than a child who is, by chronology, healthier than you, because as the generations go on, our lifespans are usually longer because of medications and advancements and certain things like that. So this is a very selfish option when you really think about it. Being infertile sucks to suck, but there's ways around it. So if I one day really want a kid, I can have a kid. It just wouldn't be mine. And there's like donors and stuff like that. I mean, the family can help. Like there's other avenues. So it's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing either, but it's not the end of the world. It could be done. It could be worked with. Let's see how that divides up. 66, so like 2/3 for infertility. Yeah, but this one's just sad and a little bit evil. That's implying that you want to live longer, regardless of whether you have a child or not. So yeah, I'd rather live the straight course and be infertile, personally. Okay. Would you rather end a first date with a passionate kiss? That doesn't necessarily mean the relationship's going to last after that, or end it with sex. Oh, I'm old-timey. I'm passionate kiss. Yeah. The sex can wait. That's not essential. We get there when we get there. We work on our own time. That's how I feel. TMI. Moving on. Would you rather lose an eye and a hand, or lose a leg and an ear? Oh no! Well, first of all, it's not saying that you're in pain, so I'm going to assume that you're under all the anesthetic that you want because it doesn't specify anything. So now, it's just a matter of what senses or abilities you want to lose. Losing an eye and a hand, so you lose depth perception, and I'm probably not able to type anymore. But there are prosthetics, so you're almost definitely going to have to need a glass eye or an eye patch or something. Though your vision would be great. My vision's terrible anyways. I wear glasses, so it would just be an even worse situation for me. If you lose a hand, there are oh my god, what happened to me? There are advancements now. There's prosthetics, there's robotics, and we're seeing that more and more every day. And I can go Anakin Skywalker. It'd be cool to have a robotic hand. Then again, on the other side of everything, lose a leg and an ear. Once again, you can get prosthetics for both pretty easily. You could still walk with a prosthetic leg. And if you lose an ear, I mean, you can still hear. It would feel a little imbalanced because the way your ears are designed, it's meant to balance out sound between them each. But again, get the prosthetic and just have it mirror the exact shape of your other ear, just reversed, then that would be the worst thing. So, and then you still have your vision. So yeah, even though walking might not be perfect, at least I could still walk. But a prosthetic hand, I still wouldn't be able to type or play video games as often as I'd want to. Again, based on how prosthetics are now, like they exist, but I don't know how fast or slow they are compared to a human hand, right? So I'm gonna go with leg and an ear because that just seems like the least risky. And again, we're assuming this is painless. And even if there is pain involved, then yeah, I'd prefer to lose one of these than an eye. So 59%. Oh, come on, enough of these. No one watches these anyways, that's fine. Would you rather have a threesome with two semi-attractive people or sex with one super hot person? Yeah, again, I'm old school, so we're going with the latter option, 82%. Moving on. Would you rather be able to make whatever liquor you want come out of your finger? I don't even drink. How's that? Well, it would be good for friends. So, interesting. Or spend a night out in Las Vegas with Alan from The Hangover. Isn't that a bad idea? I don't forget which of the three guys was Alan, but I mean, isn't the whole movie hinging on the whole point that they don't know what happened to them the night before? And there's a baby in their closet, there's a tiger in the apartment, Mike Tyson's out to get you, there's a mob after you. That's not a good situation. But you can make some good buddies with the liquor ability. I wouldn't drink any myself, but yeah, you make some friends. And if you get sick of them, just overload them with liquor, they get drunk and they pass out. That works well. So I'm going to go with that one. Okay. Yeah, most people agree. Pepsi or Coca-Cola. I don't understand the war between these two brands. My friend has a strong preference towards Pepsi, but I say Coke just because it's one syllable less. It's easier to say, it's faster. That's the only reason. If someone says, is Pepsi okay? I'm like, sure, fine. I really don't care. So I'm going to go with Coke. Easier. Yeah, fine. I really don't care. Either one, fine. I can deal with it. Would you rather have one real get out of jail free card or a key that opens any door? Okay, so I can commit any crime I want. So that would imply robbery and a whole bunch of other stuff. But if you steal something, then you can get out of jail free. It doesn't necessarily mean you get to keep the thing that you stole. It probably gets confiscated, right? So the point's kind of moot there. But I guess if you break the law on accident, or you wind up being found guilty for manslaughter, like you didn't mean to kill someone, but you hit them with your car, not that I drive, but again, hypothetical here, it could be useful. Just as a backup in case you stumble upon a situation like that in your life. Or you can have a key that opens any door. Again, I'm not a sneaky person. I don't need to go into every room. I don't feel the need to like do all this espionage crap. So yeah, this is a nice backup. Might be useful. Get out of jail free card. Yeah, a lot of sneaky bastards out there who want invisibility and want a key that opens any door. But whatever. Would you rather? Oh no. It's the open centipede. Would you rather use sandpaper as toilet paper or use vinegar as eye drops? Ooh. How often do you use eye drops though? I don't really need them. It's not saying that you must use them right now. It's assuming when it's time to use them, you gotta use them. Sandpaper and toilet paper, that's basically every day, maybe every other day. But vinegar's eye drops, when's that gonna happen? Right? So, yeah, that's not a worry. It's fine. I'll just go in the shower and rinse out with water. That's not eye drops. It's just water. It's a shower. It's a different way of getting liquid into your eyeballs. So, that's easy. Would you rather be chased by the SWAT team or be chased by your ex? I don't have an ex, and I don't have a criminal record. Being chased by a SWAT team sounds horrifying. I mean, you're not on GTA, you don't have cheat codes, you're screwed. You're getting found, you're getting killed, maybe. Being chased by your ex, that just sounds funny. Assuming I ever had an ex, assuming I ever lived long enough to get the experience in which I have an ex, that might just be hilarious. Like, they're just chasing after you for a while and you run from them. I'd be laughing the whole way. Yeah, that sounds more funny and less dangerous. So I'd rather go with that. 73%. Yeah, why would you want to be chased by the SWAT? Unless you're a real masochist. But anyhow, what time are we at? Okay, yeah, I keep going. Again, nice long episode for you to play in the background of whatever you're doing. So hope you're enjoying so far. Let me know what you like in the comments and what your choices would be as well. Would you rather have your future be determined by your parents or by a random ass stranger? Now this one is very much dependent on who's answering this question. I am very fortunate to have very decent parents who care about my future, who taught me a lot of good life lessons and continue to. So I'm one of the more fortunate people. But some people, unfortunately, have very shitty parents, and they might opt for the chaotic nature of getting just a random stranger, anyone in the world, from a weird shifty meth head in New York to some, like, infant in Africa. Like, anybody, right? Even if they give no future at all, I mean, that's an option too. I don't know. But yeah, I trust my parents to give me a good future, and I can get me pretty hopeful. That banks on a lot. That's good. So for me, it's a good option. For others, probably not. But that's where I land. Would you rather have serious sweat marks under your arms, again, not giving you a time or a time limit or anything, or not have the stains, but you sure smell like you do? I'll just change my shirt. I got shirts. I'll just change my shirt and do my laundry. Oh no. Anyway, that's all this is. Easy. To rather live in the clouds or live underwater? Ooh. Huh. Well, if you're living in the clouds or underwater, it's not assuming that you respectively have the power of flight or have the power of underwater breathing. Then again, it's not saying that you don't have those abilities. So let's assume I possess the abilities that allow me to do either of these things. Living in the clouds assumes that I have flight, and flight is probably one of my favorite possible superpowers. Telepathy would also be good. Close second. They kind of go hand in hand as well. I could use that. I would love to fly. Again, I don't drive, so that'd be a very handy ability. Save on Uber, right? If you're underwater, you can breathe underwater, but why are you in the ocean all the time, right? And then you gotta hunt for fish and stuff. You're probably far away from everything. Yeah, I'd rather fly, dude. That sounds better. So I'd rather live in the clouds. Yeah, depends on what your preferences are. I could see either side of the argument. Spend a night out with Bob Marley again. Why? Or with Snoop Dogg? Again, assuming Bob Marley's alive, right? But Snoop Dogg, I don't want smoke. I prefer not to have that. He's a lovely guy, I'm sure of that. But I don't want to. I don't need to be around weed. Like I'm good. Then again, didn't Bob Marley smoke a lot too? I don't know. But he had. Oh, so would it be musical preference? So would you prefer like R&B, or would this be R&B too? This is more reggae, right? Yeah. So yeah, Bob Marley. Yeah, and also he's passed, so it'd be a unique opportunity, right? Anyways, moving on. Snoop Dogg seems to have a good long life ahead of him, so he's fine. He doesn't need me. Oh, great. Total tone change. Would you rather get diarrhea on a first date or run into your parents on a first date? So the reason why I say is because when you get diarrhea on a first date, it's not necessarily meaning that you shit your pants while you're at the table, right? Or whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you're like, oh, I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, do what you gotta do, come back. Date doesn't know any the wiser. If you run into your parents on a first date, again, this hinges on what type of parents you have. My parents would know to keep quiet. I'd imagine they'd know to give me my space. And that would be a cute little story in the future, like we get married and all that. I'm like, hey, never told you my parents happened to be on the first date. That would be sweet. And I feel like that would be less risky, so I'd go with that. But getting diarrhea, there's ways to hide that. I mean, just like read and hear your colon. Just know what's going on downstairs, and just get up and go. That's not a big deal. Again, it's not saying that happens actively during the date, so it's okay. Like, it could be the date's over, then you're back in your apartment or house or whatever, and you're like, oh no, I got shit. And then you're fine. You're alone, so you're okay. Would you rather live in an amusement park or a zoo? Ooh. Let me think about this one. All right. I think zoos are the easiest ones to figure out. So, there's animals. There's also animal crap, and animal smells, and stuff like that. And also certain weather that you'd have to deal. Well, you have to deal with certain weather in either situation. A zoo would be fun for a while. But amusement parks are always like in Florida or in California, all the hot places. California being especially hot right now, if you know what's going on, depending on when you're watching this. So, but then again, there's amusement parks that might not be in those really brutal climates as well. So, I'd probably opt for something like a zoo. If you're living in a zoo, I assume that means you get like free room and board. You're not like living in one of the habitats or anything, but you can go outside, you can say hey to the monkeys or whatever, and just walk around, check out the animals. And then, I don't know, maybe it's like the Boston Zoo or something like that. I haven't been there in forever. Is there a zoo in Boston or around there? Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, I think that just might be more cozy. But in an amusement park, you got a whole bunch of like snotty kids and sun and heat and loud noises. I think a zoo would be a little more nice and quaint. I'd prefer that personally as a lifestyle. So yeah, I'll take 35. That's fine. Sure. Yeah, it really depends. Like for me, it's just a matter of comfort. But yeah, amusement park, that would be cool, but not for me. I don't think that would work. Would you rather be the victim of a serial killer or turn into a serial killer? Ooh, die here or live long enough to become the villain? Interesting. And you know what? I think this will be our last question for the day. Be the victim. All right, so either die or make people die. This might be the most difficult one here. Be the victim of a serial killer. Well, I definitely don't want to die. Turn into a serial killer. You get to choose who dies. If, like, what is a serial killer, right? It's a person who kills people and has a pattern or some sort of objective, right? They kill people based on their past, their experiences, and all of that. So I don't want to die, so that rules out this option. But over here, at least you can choose who dies and how you kill them. I can't believe I'm so comfortable answering this question. But if I were to kill people, first of all, it would be painless, it would be instant, do it in the fastest way possible. And second, I'd choose people who like genuinely suck or have caused real problems. So I'd be something of a vigilante, like V for Vendetta, kind of. Like, you could classify him as a serial killer. He goes after people specifically based on things that they've done to him. I'm not saying I'd be the vengeful type necessarily, maybe a little bit, but I'd probably go after people who have caused significant problems for those I've cared about or for the world itself. So I'd lean more towards a vigilante side of things. Again, subjective, like, are you a vigilante or a serial killer? It depends on who you ask, but in the eyes of the government, you'd be a serial killer. But I just gotta be stealthy about it. But I don't want to die, so I'll figure that out when I get there. So that's 70 to 30. Interesting. Well, again, mortality is a big thing. So, yeah, I guess we'll leave it there. I don't know how long this recording is. I don't even know if it did record at all because this is on friggin' Zoom, so I'm not sure how it's going to look. But I will check in post. I hope it recorded. And that being said, if it did, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments. And if there are any certain predicaments here that you would have chosen the opposite of from me, let me know that too, and give me your logic as well. I'd be very curious to know. So, all that being said, that is a wrap for now. And also let me know if you enjoyed this playthrough. Can you call it a playthrough? I don't know, a let's play. It's not like, yeah, it's a game, but not like story based, not linear or anything. I don't know. If you liked it, let me know, and leave a like as well. That helps. So I know to keep doing more of these. I probably will anyways, because this was a whole lot of fun. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed them, please, as per usual, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the good stuff. Also check down in the description for a few goodies, and that's all I have to say. So thank you very much, rock on, and I will see you all later.